I'm John Mike Keene. I'm inviting you to continue to call Hollywood enablers and the media enablers and Kamala voters enablers, enablers of abuse. That's the thing. People on the left, feminists are enablers. Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, who has a past of publicly smacking women around, and the media cover it up just like a good abused little wife because they don't want big bag Doug Emhoff to come after them. So they're enablers.
She called after she claims Doug Emhoff smacked her in the face so hard that she spun around. Think about the force that takes.
Took a lot of force because he's so good at it. He's been practicing it so long because of the enablers have covered up for him and let him do it his whole life. In that case, he hit her in front of a bunch of Hollywood people at a big film gala, and he knew he could do it in public. He knew he'd get away with it because they're all enabled.
Washington Post, New York Times, you name it. No one will touch this thing with a 10-foot pole, even though they have three, count them three, anonymous to us, but not to the Daily Mail, friends of hers, professionals who have gone on record with the Daily Mail that this happened. They know this professional, successful attorney very well.
That's because Washington Post and New York Times are, you guessed it, enablers of abuse, enablers of physical abuse in covering this up. This stuff only goes on so long as it's kept a secret by mainstream liberal feminist yellow journalism rags, because they love having a leftist win an election more than they love women not being smacked around by their husbands.
In the moment testimonials of this woman calling, in particular her male friend, while she was still reportedly terrified that he might continue the assault.
Yeah, she was brave. All of Doug Emhoff's victims, they're brave. Where's the stories on them? Where's the stories from mainstream media on these brave victims who survived Doug Emhoff? They survived his schemes, his scams, his male dominant violence, his over the top violence. Where are the stories on the victims? They will not do it.
The rest of the media has ignored it completely. And this was a conversation I was having with my editor as I was working on this column about this assault, attack, whatever. Who's going to pick it up? Are we going to get, this story should have legs on it for days. And of course, nobody picked it up.
And that's the real news. This is about the media. Feminist media is covering up female abuse by Doug Emhoff. That is, she can write this article just fine, but do you see how this works? You can write it and do your job all you want. They won't pick it up. They won't pay you for it. They won't run it. So they just do basically a giant boycott of the truth, a boycott of anything that makes the victim, the female victims, seem like heroes, and Doug Emhoff seem like the female abuser that he is. We saw the same treatment of Bill Clinton, who is a massive R word, the R word, what he did to Juanita Broderick, etc. They covered for him because they're enablers. They are the problem. When they come after you and say Trump's misogynist, they talk about grabbing women by the hoo-hoo, and they say that we have this male, white, dominant male patriarchy problem. Just laugh in their face. They're worse.
Imagine what he does in private if he's capable of doing something like this in public. Jen Psaki of MSNBC still does that incredibly disgraceful interview. Oh, what does it feel like to be a man who supports women? Are you kidding me?
That is, MSNBC and Jen Psaki are actually telling the exact opposite of what Doug Emhoff is. They are part of a massive propaganda campaign. Every woman abuser needed an enabler, a helper, someone on the inside like Jen Psaki and MSNBC to be able to continue their chain of abuse. I'm John Mike Keene.